I want to talk a little bit more about the role of IT and infrastructure. So how is the role of, let's say, IT leaders and also an IT department? How has that changed?
Well, I mean, Cheryl, you can see that obviously because of the headset and the gaming gear I have on, that IT professionals enjoy working from home. We're loving it. I think most of the time we would prefer to be at home and work remotely. But really, when it comes seriously, it really hasn't. The core of the job really hasn't changed much. We still have to make sure that those endpoint devices, whether they're at the office or they're at home, we still have to make sure they're secure. We still have to make sure that those end users, again, it doesn't matter where they're at, they have access to all of those services that they normally have access to at the office. So making sure that like mFiles is in place, VPN tunnels, RDP connections, even programs like LogMeIn that help get that client from at home to the data that they need to access. And at the end of the day, we're still fixing the end user. They still have problems with their email passwords. They're still having problems with just the everyday things that they normally had problems with at the office. They're just having those at home now. And we as IT professionals just may have to make sure that we have the right tools in place to be able to properly manage that.
Yeah. So it's not the kids playing the video games. What does this mean for businesses?
This means that really just investing a little bit of time and money to make sure that they're either working with an IT company that has those tools to be able to manage their staff wherever they're at, whether they're at home or whether they're at work, or making sure that IT professional in that business has the right tools to be able to, again, manage all of that kind of stuff. We spent a ton of time over the last month shifting our clients from the home or from the office environment to the home environment, but we were prepared for that. We were talking about this weeks before it even came down to the governor saying, hey, everybody has to stay at home or work in place. So we're going to see that shift back the other way when this is over. You know, in a couple of months when everything kind of gets back to the norm, I think the new norm is going to be a little bit different. We're going to see where businesses really found out that, hey, I can have staff that's productive at home. I don't need to necessarily move that back. Here's a great example of an email that I got from a client just a few days ago that really kind of highlights that. This is an owner of one of the companies that was kind of opposed to going and technology, but now is just absolutely loving it. And this is not the first type of email that I got. I mean, I'm having phone conversations. I'm getting emails from people saying, hey, this is the new norm, and we want to make sure that our technology supports this new norm. And so we have to be prepared. And again, being prepared is making sure you've got backups, making sure they're encrypted, making sure that you have those right tools all in place, because your data is still going to be stored in such a way that when that user is working from home and happens to click on something that gives them ransomware, you want to still make sure that you've got all that information protected.
Mm-hmm. And so, Joe, you said, that this was something that a lot of businesses were moving towards anyway, which is the remote worker. But I think what I've experienced anyway is that maybe there's been a select few that have worked remotely, but not the entire workforce. So it's gone from maybe having a few individuals that have that access or have that ability to all of a sudden the entire workforce is working remotely. So when you look at a business that actually adopts the shift that you were talking about, this IT shift, if you will, what are the outcomes for the businesses?
Freedom. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. Freedom. They have the ability to shift that workforce wherever they need to, whether it's at their home or whether it's out of state, whether it's shrinking the facilities that they need for their workforce. That that new norm is really going to be where they have a workforce that's kind of scattered, but is still connected with the technology, with Teams and 365 and all of these tools that we have. That they're still going to be able to work as a cohesive unit in the workforce, even though they're scattered all over the place. Employees that had to travel for 2 hours or an hour to get to work, an hour back, that you eliminate that. Constraints in office space, all that kind of stuff. There are so many benefits when they really truly adopt this and move forward with it. You're going to have a lot of freedom as a business owner.
Yeah, freedom and flexibility. And I think even from the perspective of the employee, being able to, like you said, cut out the 2-hour commute every day, it just gives you that much more, time that you can spend on your work.
Absolutely.
As a business manager wants to hear,
that
right?
gives you 2 more hours to work. That's awesome.
2 more hours to work. See? A win-win.
Absolutely.
Tom Beals, we'll bring you in. I know you probably have some comments that you want to add. Joe, you're hilarious. Thank you so much.
I didn't know Joe was in sales. I think he wants to work from home and with everybody else in the company. This is great. But it sounds like a conversation that actually Joe and I had a few weeks back in regards to working from home and how productive it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is productive. And I think, like we said, like at the beginning, I think maybe businesses had a few select individuals that were working remotely. And then all of a sudden, bam, COVID hits and it's, they have to, by law, allow this new norm to exceed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once we get into what Joe's referencing as the new norm.